Welcome. It's this game again. Nice relaxing times. It's very early in the morning. I mean, it's not that early. How early is it? I've dropped my water bottle. 9 a.m. on a Saturday, so it's not actually that early. I've been up for a little while already. I'm just chronically sleepy. I think I might have some sort of vitamin deficiency. Anyway, welcome back to the game. Today, we're going to buy a new house. I'm going to keep on with the same pattern I've been doing. We're going to buy the cheapest house in this category, which is Charming Hideaway. Oh, look how charming it looks. The state of this remote house leaves a lot to be desired, but after a renovation it could become a perfect summer home. The property includes 1.5 bathrooms, I don't know what that means, a spacious kitchen, and a bedroom with a walk-in closet. Additionally, there's a lot of storage space in the dry, functional basement. That's what I call my nether regions. 1 bedroom, 1.5 bathrooms, so it's quite small. I mean, it's 110 meters squared. I can't really visualize that. Is that big? Maybe it'll just be like a bachelor pad. Is that still a term that's used? Oh, it looks a bit rough. It doesn't look astoundingly nice, does it? We'll recover it. That's the aim of the game. It'll be fine. Okay. It doesn't look as bad as it did in the images. It doesn't look great. There's some cleanup work to do. I hate the green. I might make it brick. I might make it some sort of stone, like maybe continue the stone effect up. That could be quite nice. I had a sort of rustic facade. Right now it looks like it's been set fire to, which might be true, I don't know. It looks like this is made of gravel. That's not great. This might crumble into the loam. We'll sell off all these bushes. I'm not saying that we're gonna completely be bushless and have like a virginal, shaved lawn or anything. But for now, just so I can actually see what we're doing, I will go bushless. I wonder if this house will actually let me access this attic, or if is it more of just a bungalow? We've got a water tower. Are they still used? Are water towers still a thing? I really only know it from the Warner Brothers logo. And, we're the Warner Brothers and the Warner Sister Dot. That show that old people liked. I watched... Is it called The Animaniacs? I watched a little of that when I was a kid. It was okay. I always found it a little bit obnoxious because... I don't know. It's American humor. I watched a movie last night called Bottoms, and it was so American. And I don't know. I'm not using that as an insult. I'm just saying it's a certain style. It was very loud. It was a very loud movie. And that's kind of what Animaniacs is as well. I think Animaniacs was produced by Steven Spielberg, and he might be the most American director. Like, if anybody screams Americana, it's Steven Spielberg, right? I don't like these shutters. I'm going to get rid of these while I ramble on. Speaking of rambling on, these videos have actually done much better than I was expecting them to, so thank you for that. That's probably fine, right? Same with this. I don't know how I want these windows to look yet. I guess we'll decide as we go through. Maybe match them to this. Like, this door looks alright. Oh, I've ruined it. This, it was like that, right? Yeah, this door looks kind of nice. Copy that. Put it over here. I don't know, the wood looks a bit rough. It looks a little bit like unfinished. It's very sort of sanded and unvarnished wood. I'm not sure if I 100% like it. It looks kind of fuzzy. Like if you ran your hand over it, there'd be some fuzz. So maybe not. White seems a bit too much, though. White seems a bit... Maybe that one. Maybe like a nice bright door, because I think the outside of the house might be a bit dark by the time I'm done with this. So I think that would be good. Get no shutters, please. I don't want shutters. My parents' new house has shutters, and I think they're not that nice. I'm not a big shutters guy, apparently. One on shutters, thank you. Copy that style now. I think it's necessary where they live, though. My parents moved to Spain, which is what all Irish people of a certain economic bracket tend to do, is move to Spain. I don't really get it. I don't like the heat. But, you know, I'm happy for them. But in Spain, you often want the windows open because it's really monstrously hot. But also, there's lots of mosquitoes. So you probably don't want them open to the elements. Alright, I like this. I like this floor. I think I'm keeping that. I like this wood around the edges. I think that's quite nice, so I'm going to keep that. I don't like this tile. Even if this was repaired, I think it's pretty ugly, so I might replace that tile. And then we need to decide what we're doing with this. I'm going to see if there's some sort of cool brickwork or cobblestone or something that I can use. Okay, I've got two types. I think I'd like this on the bottom. See, that looks nice. That looks nice and cozy. I think that's my mission statement for this house. Because again, the houses that I make for myself, this game... Ooh, big stretch! The houses that I make for myself in this game tend to be quite, you know, cubey and monocolor and a bit modern-y. I want this to be a nice, cozy cabin in the woods. I imagine a writer would live here. Like the worst writer you've ever seen. Somebody could come here to write their, like, trashy, Twilight-style romance fiction. He grabbed her and pushed her against the wall, his teeth glinting in the moonlight. Her inner goddess could feel his member standing to... That's not really Twilight, is it? That's more 50 Shades of Grey. 50 Shades of Grey. I feel like everybody already knows this little factoid I'm about to say. But it is interesting that 50 Shades of Grey was initially a Twilight fan fiction that got really famous. And then, for copyright reasons and publishing, she had to change all the names and stuff, obviously. But that's weird, right? That's a strange thing. Like, I don't know. This might sound rude. I don't really respect fanfiction. I don't have any ethical problems with it or anything like that. I just don't read it. There are some people, and it's weird to be this into it. There are some people who are really, like, anti-fanfiction, and not just like, oh, I don't really read that sort of thing. It's not really something I'm into. They're, like, existentially, like, anti-it existing. Like, they think it's evil or wrong or, like, you know, litigious in some way. I don't get that. I can't really imagine caring that much either way about fan fiction. It's not really my thing. Oh, that's very dark. That's very, very dark. Is that too dark? It is kind of cozy. Is that too dark? What about natural stone brick? That just looks like you live in a cave. That's very dark. Can I lighten this up a bit? No, apparently not. Right, you know what? I'll deal with it. We'll see how this looks once a full wall is done of it. I say I don't like fanfiction though. Really, the only fanfiction I've ever read is the hilariously bad stuff that gets shared around as a meme, which I recognise is not probably the prime example you should be judging it on. You know, I've read My Immortal, featuring Ebony Darkness Dementia Raven Ray. Everybody has. But I don't know. I can't see myself getting into it. It's a bit like anime, right? I believe, and this is based on very little evidence, but I believe that the fandoms for fan fiction and anime enjoyment, the Venn diagram is a circle, right? It just gives me that vibe. Again, I'm not saying I'm right, but it gives me that vibe. And I don't like either. I don't think I have a point to this conversation. I'm really just doing stream of consciousness. I always do stream of consciousness when I'm recording or when I'm streaming. That's just how streaming is, really. I tend not to plan stuff on my streams that much. I like to go in not really knowing what I'm going to be doing. I don't really look that closely at the games that I'm playing for the most part. I don't write a script or anything. Jesus, if I did write a script, how depressing would that be that this is how it ends up? But it doesn't, I think, come across as obviously that it's stream of consciousness in some other videos that I do, because more is happening in the video game and I can react to that. And also I edit them more. Like I'm editing this, but less. I think it's fair to say. Like, if I edited this to the same kind of level and quickness as one of the other videos on my channel, it would take me so long that I would get so sick of my own voice. Oh, speaking of which, I did mean to mention this. These videos have actually done a lot better than I thought they would. I was pretty convinced that nobody would ever see these, that I would log on to YouTube Studio, which I do every so often, and see, 3 views, average view time, 2 minutes or something like that, which, has not been uncommon to see in some of my videos. But no, it's actually, I wouldn't say it's taken off or anything, but it's doing respectable numbers, 100, couple of 100 views. That's pretty good. I'm enjoying it too. I think there is kind of, oh god, to put it as unpleasantly as possible, I think there's kind of a market for relaxing, almost ASMR videos that you can put on while doing work or eating some food or something like that. I would not call myself ASMR because then I would have to throw myself into the sea. But you know what I mean. ASMR for people who don't like ASMR. Maybe that's what these videos are. Speaking of which, I'll shut up and finish the outside. I think that looks nicer. I don't think it looks outstanding necessarily, but I think that looks nicer. I think this is fine. I think this might be a bit bare here. So I think I might put another little crossbar across this just to separate the wall a little bit more. It can look a bit like a beam or something, I don't know. That's a bit nicer, isn't it? Sort of equidistant between these two. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I'll do that on the back wall as well. I think that's a bit nicer. I'm not going to bother there. Oh, who left a log on the fucking roof? Sorry, I didn't notice that before. Oh, also, I might... Oh, do I want to change the roof as well to match these? Yeah, okay. Does that look better? I think it looks neutral. I think it doesn't look better or worse. I think it looks basically indistinguishable. Like it's basically the same, right? Do I want more roof tiles? Hang on. Was there an option to change roof tiles? I think I'll just leave it for now. I think the red roof looks kind of nice. Right, let's see what disaster is waiting inside. Oh, also, hang on. Just to finish the outside, this needs to be copied over, right? There we go. I don't really see the point of this low a fence. Like, the fence is a bit silly. But, oh, well, I can, the steps here. You know what, I'm getting rid of these steps as well. I think these steps look a bit goofy. Don't like them very much. Get rid of them. Nicer. I like that more. I'm into it. Just need one step up. That's enough. Let's see what waits inside. Oh, okay. It's not a complete disaster. The last house we did looked a little bit like an unfinished crack den. Do you do crack in a den? I think I said on the last video that I don't really know what crack is. Is it something you do in a den? This is a hideous chair. Get rid of that. We can keep this little, what's this? A little shoe shelf or something? I don't have one of these. It came up on stream recently when I was doing some sort of quiz that I am quite bad about shoes. Like, not taking off my shoes when I go inside. It's something that really annoys my partner, Emma. And I see why. I understand. I'm not totally blind to it. I get that it's the wrong way to live. I'm just bad at doing it. I think I like this here under the window. Maybe, and this here. I think that's fine. I guess we should probably clean up. Oh, there's a lot to do. This is always the overwhelming part when you go into a house in this game, is like, what do I do first? There's trash on the floor. There's furniture to get rid of. There's all of this to there's just a lot. I don't have to sell all of this though. Like this table is okay. Oof, lights fittings, that's probably fine, right? Beam, I'll keep the beam. The cabinets are okay as well. I think you can maybe salvage these cabinets. They don't look too bad. I think that's fine. I'll repaint them and stuff because they don't look nice. I think I'll replace all these. I think the radiators look a bit naff. It's a word I never use, and I don't really know why I said it there either. I associate the word naff with, like, only fools and horses and stuff like that. If you don't know what that is, honestly, you're better off. I don't like only fools and horses. If you're of a certain age and you live in Britain or Ireland, you might find what I just said sacrilegious. If you're maybe over the age of 45, you might really love that show. What was I talking about earlier? I don't know. This is the problem with this kind of stream of consciousness thing, is that I will bring up something, mean to elaborate on it, and then never bring it up again and just sort of forget. I noticed that while editing. I think I was talking about movies earlier, like American movies. But yeah, I watched Bottoms, which is super bad, basically. it's basically super bad. Or maybe it's kind of like a more self-aware super bad. I would say it may be more like 21 Jump Street, or maybe Derry Girls. All kind of similar shit, right? I'm not really into any of it. But I watched that last night, and I was expecting better. We turned it off, but halfway through, my partner and I, we were just so annoyed by the whole thing. We were just like, yeah, that's enough. Don't need to watch any more of this. Is this, can I not put this any further back? Is something in the way? Why can't I, like, join this up? But what I mean about, like, talking about American movies, it's very American. It's one of the most American movies I've ever seen, in that it is almost constant shouting. Like, it's that's why I'm comparing it to things like Superbad, is that it's pretty much constant shouting and swearing. Like, every other line was the word pussy or cunt, and every line was shouted. Like, it felt like the movie was yelling at us. If you're into that kind of loud, brash, brassy comedy, then it's for you and you'll love it. But like, I would say, if your problem with things like Superbad or The Inbetweeners, or, you know, that kind of like loud, broad, in your face kind of comedy, if your problem with those isn't that they are loud and broad, but your problem is that they are populated almost entirely by irritating white guys, then this is the movie for you, because it's not. You know, it's slightly different in that it is gay women making and acting in it, which is a breath of fresh air, because it's not the main reason I hate those kind of movies, but it's one of them. Definitely. Not gonna say it isn't. Why doesn't this... I'm so angry that this doesn't fit, by the way. But yeah, I wasn't a fan. I would rather never watch anything like that again. Like, I can put it here, but it's sticking out slightly, and that's really irritating. Hang on, if I get the style similar for all of them, maybe, you know, they can clean up nice. Can I just, like, shove that in? Do I have to, like... Oh my god, I'm so angry. Why isn't this working? Just go in, please. Just go in one more tick. Please. Just... I'm gonna kill someone. Right, sell that, please. I'm so angry. I don't know how I'm gonna lay out this kitchen. It's a bit of a mess. You know what? No, I'm gonna have cabinets here and cabinets here as well. I think that would be nice. Can I maybe put this here on this side? Can this fit? It can. You know what? I'll take it. And I might put a little corner unit here instead. Might be nicer. But yeah, I think I am going to trust myself from now on. And even if it's offering a bold new take, for instance, on a genre I hate, I will just assume that if I hate a genre, I'm going to hate it. Right? That seems fairly sensible to me. Again, I would compare it to Derry Girls, where Derry Girls is basically The Inbetweeners. Derry Girls has the same kind of humour, the same kind of vibe as The Inbetweeners. And if your problem with The Inbetweeners wasn't the irritating comedy and delivery, but instead was the fact that they were all the worst fucking lads in existence, then it's a show for you, Derry Girls. It's perfect for you, because it's not that. If your problem is that you just don't like that style of humour to begin with, you will not like Derry Girls. Because it is just that. Is there like a slightly longer corner unit? Like, does this come out more? Hang on, let me just get this over here for a second. I'm just sort of experimenting. What is this? Nah, it's the same. Although nah, I'll keep it with the way it was. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this kitchen. It looks rancid. Like, everything about it, from the wood to the tile to the wallpaper, looks like the worst thing in the world. I hate it. So I would like to change quite a lot. We need an oven, obviously. We need an oven, we need a fridge, we need maybe a dishwasher, if we're being fancy, boys. I don't have a dishwasher. Again, that is for fancy boys, right? A dishwasher. Let me get this oven. I'll put it here for now. Just to see what happens. Yeah. There. Maybe. Is this kind of equidistant? Maybe this way. That looks about equidistant. Let's put you here. And just get some cabinets. Let's put a dishwasher here. Oven and dishwasher side by side. Is that horrible looking? It's not unhorrible, is it? Hang on. Put maybe the dishwasher here instead. That could be fine. And, oh, this is going to be such a bad house. What about you? That's the one over there, right? Can you go here, maybe? Hang on. I'm getting rid of these windowsills. They can't be here. They're too obtrusive. Oh, I've just noticed something I hate. This is flush to the wall and this window isn't. Why have you done that to me? Why have you done this? Are these not the same distance from each other? These are all equidistant, I think. Are these ones not? Should this be closer to the wall? Oh! Oh, look how hot. Oh, God. I'd rather not have a window. What have you done? Look at this window. How did I not notice that from the outside? Oh, that's so ugly. Oh, that's horrible. Why is that like that? Why is this so far over? What is here? Oh, it's because of the stairway. Oh, horrendous. Okay. Well, I hate that, like, quite a lot. I might shift this window over quickly. Like, can I just pop that over here? I still don't think it's going to be necessarily flush on the outside, but it'll be slightly better. I'm not enjoying this. I don't know, I don't think I have anything to add about movies, to be honest. I'm very tired today. That's what I was meaning to talk about as well. I think I might have a vitamin deficiency. I've been taking multivitamins recently in the hopes that it will stop my... Oh, we'll deal with the basement later. In the hopes that it will fix my chronic fatigue. I don't actually have chronic fatigue. I'm aware that chronic fatigue is an actual diagnosis, and it seems like hell. I'm just often sleepy. It's not exactly chronic fatigue, is it? I'm just a sleepy person. But I don't think I used to be, and I don't know if it's just age that's making me sleepier, or if it's some sort of horrible vitamin thing. Because I went to the doctor a few years ago. That's how often I go to the doctor, is that it was a few years. And was told that I had a very worrying lack of vitamin B12, which is the stereotypical vitamin that vegans lack. If you were not aware, I am a vegan. Because it's frequently found in things like eggs and milks and stuff like that. They have a lot of that kind of thing in them. It's not just in those, it's in every sort of plant milk and stuff like that, and it's in some seeds, and it's not It's not just in animal products, but it's in some stuff that I don't eat is the problem. Like, I don't really drink milk, for instance. I don't really like milk. I'm not really a dairy boy. Being Irish, that is sacrilegious, but I am not really a dairy boy. Oh, this is kind of ruined. I kind of want to keep this because I like the silly beard, but it is kind of fucked. You know what? Fuck it. I'm keeping this fucked up, horrible painting. That can stay. We will change the doors as well. Hang on. There we go. That's a bit nicer. We'll match all the doors together. Much better. There we go. We can have like a little matching set of stuff. Oh, it's already so much brighter. But since then, I have been taking vitamins. But I'm not 100% sure if the vitamins are working or if they're just kind of a placebo thing. I don't know if vitamins work in general. Like when you get multivitamins at the shop, I think they're probably, and I don't mean this in the worst way possible, like it might sound. I think they're probably a scam. They're a fairly benevolent scam, but I think a lot of them are just full of like vitamin C. And I don't think people fully realize how prevalent vitamin C is in almost everything you eat. If you are eating any fruits or vegetables ever, you don't need vitamin C. Like, the reason scurvy happens is because they were eating nothing but like heart attack, which is just flour, water, and salt, and rum. So like, they were going to get some horrible diseases out of that. Scurvy does not happen if you have like a head of broccoli once a year. Like, it's not really a problem for people in the modern era. And it doesn't help you like stave off sickness, I think. There's this weird thing. I think it's more prevalent in America. I mainly hear Americans talk about it, where if you get sick, you're supposed to drink orange juice, as if that will like make you better quicker. And that is like 100% like a nonsense placebo. Sorry if that's ruined the placebo for you. Because the whole point of a placebo is that it does kind of work because of psychosomatic reasons. Although, I did read recently, and I don't know how true this is, that a placebo works even if you know it's a placebo. I have no idea what the science behind that is. Just that your brain is like, well, it could still be real. Like, I think it's less effective, but it does still work. It's interesting. Okay, I think that's all the windows down here are clean. And as even as we're going to get them in this horrible, horrible place. I don't know if I want this, like, side pillar. I might sell that, because we don't have a matching one here. I think it looks a bit naff. I'm going to sell that. There we go. I think that's fine. This looks like it won't fall over. I'm sure it'll be fine. Next, I want to do the floors, because the floors in this house are rancid. So I would like some different floors. I'll keep the same pattern, but I want to lighten it up a little bit. Again, we want this cozy, not depressing. Like maybe, not the same color as this, but like a, like a slightly more neutral wood. Maybe like stained elm. I'm looking at panels. Maybe American ash, that could be nice. American ash, stained elm. What is outside? Not oak. What's outside? What is this? What are you? You're driftwood. Right, we're probably not going to put driftwood on our floors, because we're not insane. Let's go with stained elm. I've decided. And we'll keep it in the same sort of, what is this, like herringbone? What would you call that? I think that's significantly nicer. I'm going to do all of the flooring like that, I think. Here's a piece of information that probably isn't necessary for the video, but I feel like saying it anyway. I just went to the bathroom, and as I walked through my kitchen, I was confronted by the evidence of my breakfast, consisting of a plate in the sink, and I thought it would be funny to slightly horrify people with what I had for breakfast. For breakfast, I had leftovers. Now that's, I think, completely normal, right? I think that's a completely normal thing that everybody has. Is this the exact same color? I don't want the exact same color as the roof. Maybe like a slightly more orange for the entryway. That could be quite nice. Yeah, I like that. But anyway, I had leftovers. And I think, you know, it's perfectly normal to do that. If you cooked dinner and there was too much of it, then you put it in the fridge and have it the next morning or even the next night. If you've maybe ordered food like we did and thought you were slightly hungrier than you were, you throw the rest of it into the fridge, have it whenever. And I think that works and is perfectly sort of acceptable and normal if it's something like a couple of slices of pizza or some chips or something like that. What I did was I poured 3 different types of Chinese takeaway onto a plate and sort of mixed them together like a swill and ate that while standing in my office. I had some vegetable curry, some fried rice, and some chips, and I just poured them all onto the same plate and did not heat them up. I left them ice cold straight out of the fridge and then just forked it all down myself. And you know what? I would do it again in a heartbeat. It was fine. I'm not a big foodie. Might not be surprising from what I just said, but I'm not a big sort of gourmand. I don't really frequent a lot of restaurants. I'm neutral on the whole concept of them, really. I'm fine with just going for the same place over and over again or never going out. I'm very boring is what it comes down to. But I occasionally eat stuff that makes Emma horrified like that. I don't think it's weird. I'm sure other people are doing that sort of thing. I'm sure it's not actually weird. Like, at one point, I told some friends of mine, I joined a Discord call, and I said, oh, I'm having some food right now. I'll join in the games in a second, right? And this was ages ago. And they went, oh, what are you eating? And I looked at my plate, and it was a wrap with like 5-day-old rice in it and some curry and some like random bits and pieces. I went, that. And they were horrified. I was like, you're all putting on airs. Like, nobody's actually horrified by this, right? This is all like, oh, we would never eat something like this. Meanwhile, you're shoveling it into your face secretly, like a secret shame. Or maybe I'm just being the weird one. I think I might keep the wooden border going around. The problem is that I hate the colour. I think it's absolutely disgusting. So I'm going to change that. Like, what is this? High gloss wood panels? This is something that you would only find in, like, a pensioner's bedroom. Like, it's not okay. I think I would go for maybe... If we're keeping it warm, maybe like red cedar or mahogany, or maybe even light cedar, something like that. Like, I would like this to be a bit brighter, basically. Let's try going for light cedar. We'll get just the same cut pattern. There we go. That's a bit nicer to look at. It doesn't look as hellish. I mean, it's not lovely. Look, I'm not really a big fan of this style in general, I think. But it's nicer than it was. I'm trying to keep it as authentic as possible. Because I don't want to show up in the fictional equivalent of, you know, one of those shows that's like, oh, by the way, I see why this doesn't line up now. I didn't even notice this thing. One of those shows, yeah, I think it's called HGTV in America. You know those renovation shows where they'll like go over like a Victorian molding and stuff and just fucking plaster all of it over so there's no facade left. Now, I usually think that looks fine, but a lot of people get very angry when that happens. So I don't want to be one of them. Don't want to appear on that in this universe. It's just standard. Hang on, cut pattern. Give me just like standard. Where's standard? Maybe this, like that. And just let me go. Oh, that's no, absolutely not. Give me like much bigger. Yeah, that's better. Okay, good. I don't want those stripes going down the middle. Okay, I think that's all of the bordering done. It looks much nicer. I hate the lights. About halfway through there, I turned on the lights, and oh god, I hate them. Also, I hate how they're all on like 4 different switches. I don't like these. I'm getting rid of them for now. I might put them back at some point. I hate this situation. The fact that there's so many shadows is really annoying. So I'm going to duplicate these to get rid of them. Right? Put this over here a little bit more. That, are they like lined up now? I don't know. Maybe like here. That now. Yeah, that's about, that looks flush. Maybe move this a little bit in. Like here. Because we want them to be vaguely centralized. That might be fine. I don't know, to be honest. I think maybe these need to get shifted up a bit more. Like here. Maybe even more. Like that. Sure, that's broadly speaking better. I don't think it's great, but it's better. It'll have to do. That's all the cabinets done. That's all the... There's fittings and stuff like that. I think next we should paint. I don't know if I want wallpaper in here because it looks horrible. I think just paint would be fine. So let's pick out something relatively nice. I don't know. Not white, but like right now it's going white and red, but this is quite orange. What complements orange? What about a horrible pink? What about a really disgusting pink? Would that be good? I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that's maybe the least good anything's ever looked, but you know what? The house will deal with it. This, I've decided, is no longer for a writer. Like a writer of semi-erotic thrillers. This is for a blind person. Somebody who doesn't mind the worst colours in the world. I guess a blind person can write, right? That's probably fine. You can probably dictate, like Terrell Pratchett did. Although that was less a sight thing and more a dementia thing, right? I don't really know how Terry Pratchett was doing by the end. He kept churning out books. Some of them very good. I actually think Terry Pratchett... It's a real shame what happened to Terry Pratchett, because I think he was getting better and better as a writer. I think early Terry Pratchett is not amazing. I think it's a bit too goofy. I think at a certain point in his career, Terry Pratchett realised that he was a much better writer of comedy drama than pure comedy. Because he was very funny, but he could do pathos well. And sort of maudlin comedy quite well. And I think at some point he realised that and really leaned into it around the kind of the second half of his career. And that's when I really start to like him. And then, you know, obviously all the stuff happened. I wish there was any good Terry Pratchett adaptations. Because there isn't, is there? Like, people say, oh, this one's actually surprisingly watchable, but that's not exactly like a high bar. I think the one that is most liked in the current era is probably Good Omens, which is Terry Pratchett and, what's his name? Sort of nerd boy. What's his name? That's not exactly narrowing it down when you talk about, like, fantasy writers. Neil Gaiman, that's it. Who I think is much less interesting than Terry Pratchett. I don't mean to be mean to Neil Gaiman. Neil Gaiman is beloved. Neil Gaiman is very, very well liked. I'm sure I am missing something, but I have never read anything or watched anything related to Neil Gaiman and thought it was particularly good. I don't really like his stuff very much. And that's fine. Much like Bottoms, which I mentioned earlier, not everything is for me. If you're into Neil Gaiman, honestly, good for you, because it means you have more joy in your life than I do. And that's important. Okay, this horrible pink nightmare room has been finished, sort of. I'll put up some tile here as like a backsplash. That's kind of the last thing that I want to do in here. Oh, we need a fridge. I completely forgot about that. Fuck. Okay, where am I going to put a fridge? Christ. I'll put this here, by the way. I think that's kind of nice. Oh, God, where does a fridge live? Probably back here, I imagine. That's where a fridge should go. I'm going to put this here for now, because we're going to be redoing these walls as well. But yeah, Good Omens, I was talking about specifically, I think is an okay book. I don't love it. I think it's pretty good, though. I like the book. I would recommend the book. Go read it. It's fun. However, I think the show is rancid. I don't know why that's my word of the day, but oh, I hated the show so much. I really did. I can't stress enough how bad I thought that show was. And still is. I think it has a series too. I've never watched it and never will, because I despised it. I thought everything that was good and interesting about the book had been completely stripped away, and the stuff that I found annoying about the book had been ramped up to 11. But I am apparently in the minority because everybody loved it. So it's like, wow, I definitely got something different out of Good Omens than a lot of people were, I think. Like, I found the whole twee, British children running around enjoying life thing really obnoxious, and that leans into that tone very hard. Oh, is this new? I've never seen this. Sink cabinet, but that looks very pretty. I've never seen this before. Has there been an update? I'm not 100% sure. I have never checked the Steam page for this in terms of like when updates have come out. What was I looking for? Tiles. I was looking for tiles. I think from what I remember of Series 1, the narration was quite obnoxious. I didn't like some of the actors in it. And also, they stripped out quite a lot of the stuff with the kid and made his story even more kind of trite in order to give more time to David Tennant and Michael Sheen almost kissing in basically every scene they're in. And that's fine if you're into that. Basically, it's like softcore yaoi for millennials. But if you're into that, that's perfect for you. I found it a little bit grating, and I felt like it kind of distracted from the rest of the story. I mean, don't get me wrong, the book is very homoerotic. The book is a similar vibe to it, but they don't get as much time in the book. Instead, it's like 3 stories all given equal time, whereas the Crowley and whatever the fucking angel is called are given like 90% of the time in the show, and I just enjoyed it less than I thought I would. Again, though, that's fine. I'm becoming more mellow, I think, in my criticisms and opinions as I get older, in terms of that, like, you know, who cares? Not everything's for me. I didn't enjoy it. Lots of people will. That's really what matters, right? I'm just going to do ceramic tile, and I'll just do like white. Do I want white tile as a backsplash? That seems ambitious. Like, it's going to get filthy and you'll have to clean it. Green was there before. Green is the worst color for tile. Maybe I'll do green. Again, this is for a blind person, so maybe it's... Oh, that's so... Oh, God, it's horrible. That is so bad. I hate it so much. Okay, cool. Definitely keep that. So awful. Ooh. The worst kitchen on the planet. Sell off these tiles so we don't have to look at them anymore. And buy a fucking fridge, please. Buy a big fancy fridge. This person... I think the person who lives here is going to be a big eater. I don't know why I feel like that, but I do. It's like, what's my biggest fridge? This is a pretty big fridge. This is a big old fridge. That's a big boy fridge right there. Give them the, give them the Tsubaki fridge. That's a big fridge. Fuck me, that's huge. That might be too big. Who could fill this much fridge? Oh my god, it's so huge. That is so massive. It's got 2 freezer shelves. Oh, I've got a very small fridge, and even that's a bit much. I've got 1 freezer shelf and about half of this top bit. Oof. Okay, right. It also like overshadows this bit of it, but that's fine. I'm okay with it. Fridge goes there. Anything else? Okay, if this is a 1-bedroom thing, I don't imagine this is going to be like a lot of people spending a lot of time in here. So I don't know if we need like a big dining table. I might give a little bit bigger than this. Like, I'll give him a dining table that's like I don't know, medium size. Like, that's the one we just got. Maybe a Martin. Oh, that's a bit big. That's a big old table. One of these, maybe? That looks about appropriate. We could get 3 or 4 people at that. What's Koivu? It's huge. This is like a trestle table for a function. Gross. That is way too small. What about Eriopus? That's a bit too fancy. That's quite nice and it's about the right size. But it is also very fancy. Look at that. Look how fancy that is. That's like putting on airs. It is about the same price. It's actually cheaper than this one. You know what? Fine. Make it a bit less fancy though. Make it like wooden. They don't get like a posh table. They get like a wooden slab. Right? They don't deserve a posh table. There we go. We'll get some chairs as well. This one's kind of nice. Yeah, go with this one. That's pretty good. You can have 3 or 4 people at that table. If you want to scooch it out, you can have more. You could maybe even have 6. You know, if they're hosting like a Christmas dinner or something. That's what I'm thinking. If they're hosting like a Christmas dinner or something, they can get some chairs out of the attic and scooch this out into the middle a bit, minding the beams, and then have 6 people around. That'll be perfect. God, do the person who's going to buy this, I'm writing a lot of lore in my head about them. Maybe their family don't even talk to them. Maybe that's why they live alone. Maybe they're like, nobody loves me. Maybe this is like a Travis Bickle type. You know, where he's like kind of fundamentally broken and unlovable. Yeah, I've decided. This is made for maybe one of the characters in Bottoms. Sorry for ragging on Bottoms again. Sorry, it sounds like I'm being very polite and talking about ass, by the way. I'm not. I promise. But, you know, because if you don't know the plot of that movie, it's about 2... I believe the term is femcells. It's incels, but they're girls this time. I think that's the correct term. I am not quite on the internet enough to know the ins and outs of incel culture. But I think that's what they are. They are horrible people. Incels and the characters in Bottoms. That's kind of the point of the characters in Bottoms, I think. But I don't think it did it well. The point is that they are fucking horrific, I think. But it's the same, basically it's the same as 21 Jump Street, where the point in that movie is that the characters are horrible and like dumb as a bag of hammers, but it still just kind of does the tropes of all those kind of weird teen coming of age romances, and I think this falls into it. Although Lord and Miller have become more and more insufferable as the years have gone by. When I first watched 21 Jump Street, I was like, there's some iffy jokes, but it's quite funny. Now I think if I watched it, I'd go, just because I like them less, which is maybe not fair to the movie. But they've become like, I wouldn't say pariahs because they keep getting fucking directorship of things. But their working conditions are apparently pretty bad. They don't like unions, I think. They're one of them. Okay, up here we have a little horrible hallway. I don't even know what you would use this for. I might like knock through a wall or something and make this open plan. And then we've got a bedroom, a plant room, an apothecary. I don't even know what you'd call this. A bathroom. That's nice. Where's the other bathroom? It said 1.5 bathroom. I'm not really sure what that means. Is that referring to like, Oh, it's in here. Okay. A 1.5 bathroom must just mean it has a toilet but no actual bath. Oh god, this is horrible looking. What has somebody done to this poor toilet? I need to sell this. It can't be saved. Same with this sink, this mirror. It's all bad. Let's do the bathroom next, I guess. Because I think this is kind of done. I don't think we need to do anything else here. Let's do the bathroom next. We'll get the bottom floor finished up. Sort out the lighting. Where's the light switch? There we go. I like these shelves. They can stay. talking about lampshading, if you don't know what I mean by that, it's a sort of screenwriting technique that I have come to despise over the last few years. I really, really don't like the concept of lampshading as it gets used more and more in kind of Hollywood productions. Lampshading is when a movie or a TV show or a book or any piece of media really will acknowledge the sort of stupidity or problematicness or anything like that of what it's doing while continuing to do it. When it can be fun and it can be like enjoyable. Like it comes from big stretch. Sorry, I'm quite sleepy. The name comes from, I think it's a Charlie Chaplin short, where Charlie Chaplin is in the background hiding from a guy who's trying to kill him by wearing a lampshade and pretending to be a lamp. Right? And that's kind of funny. And I think at one point he like takes off the lamp, like looks around like, how the fuck is this working? And then puts the lamp back on. And it's funny. And it's like acknowledging how dumb this concept is that's happening while still doing it. But when it's used too much and about certain things that aren't like goofy slapstick comedies, it can get very annoying. Like, I don't know, Barbie does it a lot, where it's like, you know, it's talking about feminism and patriarchy a lot, but also doesn't really give its main female characters any interesting lines or things to do, and mainly the movie's about Ken. That's kind of what I'm talking about. Right, I'm going to make this, I don't know, just like a grey, slightly off-white grey bathroom. I think that's fine. I hate the tiles that are in here, so we need to change them. Yeah, that's a bit better. But for instance, in Bottoms, as an example, and again, I didn't finish Bottoms. I was supposed to say walked out. We stopped watching after 1 hour, which is about halfway through the movie. And never went back. But it was lampshading it as like, oh man, these people are scum. These people are horrible creeps, and you know, isn't it weird how horrible and creepy they are? But then just kind of kept making them horrible and creepy, and like they get the girl at the end, I believe. Spoilers. Like you know, the one who's slightly less creepy gets the girl at the end, so it's all okay. It's like, nah, not really. I still think it's fucked. To use a word that I've become very fond of recently, it's cooked. I think it's a cooked concept. Ooh, I can swivel that round, but I'm not actually allowed to swivel it around. Only they're allowed to swivel it around. You know what? I'm fine with that, like moving it up a little bit. I think that's nicer. A little bit nicer, at least. Right, let's take away all them, and I'm gonna put in an actual light here. I hate this light. I'm gonna put in an actual light, and then we'll put in a bathroom and stuff. I know another example of lampshading would be, I don't know, Cabin in the Woods, where Cabin in the Woods is a movie I quite liked. I don't know if I'd like it anymore, but it does lampshade, where it's a movie about these horror tropes, but it just kind of does the horror tropes anyway. A lot of slashers actually do that, and it really turns me off slashers. The modern thing of slashers has become, let's comment on how dumb the concept of slashers is, and that's funny once or twice, you know, when, you know, something like Cabin in the Woods does it, or if it's your first time seeing it, but then very quickly it gets Scream territory and it becomes fairly insufferable, where it's like, oh my god, don't go in the basement, and then they just go in the basement anyway, and it's like, aren't they stupid? And it's like, yeah, why am I watching this? Sorry, it's just kind of a pet peeve. If you're not bothered by it, you're not bothered by it, but I slightly am. Like a tiny bit. I give them their horrible toilet, sure. Just white. This is the worst toilet I've ever seen. It looks like it'd be in a pimp's house. But I'll give it to them, fine. And then we'll give them a sink as well. Is there like a nice floating sink that's quite small? This was here before. And this is not a nice sink. It's not the worst sink in the world, but it's not lovely. I don't think there's a sink that's any nicer, though, really, is there? Maybe this one? Maybe this is okay? Yeah, like that's alright, I think. I think we can put that there. Yeah, that's alright. That's fine. The colour was pretty bad, but I think we fixed that. And then put a mirror up. I don't know, I think... And this is, what I'm about to say is going to sound really pretentious, but I think that's par for the course with me, right, at this point. I think I probably enjoyed movies more overall when I knew less about movies, right? When I would just watch movies as, like, background noise or have no sort of very critical thoughts about them, and I would just go like, it's just a fun thing to put on in the background on the other monitor. I think I probably enjoyed more movies more, like a wider breadth of movies. Now that I know a bit more about like film theory and screenwriting and stuff like that, and editing and filmmaking in general, and I've gotten more into kind of art house stuff and indie things, I think I enjoy more movies less. Like, I enjoy most movies less, but the ones I do enjoy, I enjoy so much more that it makes up for it. Like, I enjoy movies that I like, I think, on a deeper and more intellectual level than I used to. But I think most movies are worse. Right? Like, Bottom's got something like 95% on Rotten Tomatoes, so clearly I am in the minority. A lot of people love it. But I was just like, oh, this is so puerile, which is such a pretentious way to be. I'm aware I'm broken. I'm not saying this is what you should be like. Oh, I should put a mat in here as well. Sorry, I'm mainly wandering around. I'm very tired and distracted. This might be a bit more loose than some of the others have been. I mean, I've only made 2 of these so far, but it might be a bit more loose. Right, we'll do that, and then I don't know, maybe like a soft pea green. This is a nice bathroom. I like this bathroom. I would be fine with this. Let's also put some toilet paper up because we will need that, or the person living here will need that. Let's put it like here, 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 here. That's slightly off and it's going to annoy me. There we go. Give him like a 6 toilet papers. That's enough toilet papers, right? You don't need much more than that. Can I fit any like soap on here? Yeah, I can fit like a soap dish. Give him a soap dish. Will that fit on here? Yes, just about. Give a nice soap dish and a bar of soap. What colour soap? Yellow. This is mango scented soap, I've decided. Give him some mango soap. Good stuff. Now you can piss to your heart's content. Right, what's the next room to do? Because the lower floors are now kind of done. I might give them a mirror here eventually. There'll be final touches at the end like usual. I could go downstairs into the basement. That might be horrible. We'll see. Let's go up here. Let's go upstairs. While I'm going up there, I will change these to fit in with the rest of the house. I do find myself sometimes hesitant to talk about movies, because I find myself being very opinionated, which I know is not a great look. But also, people have very passionate opinions about these movies. Like, especially the ones I'm talking about, like Barbie and Bottoms and stuff like that. These are movies that kind of mean a lot to some people. Like, the stuff I've seen about them has been like, finally, a movie for me. And it's like, I don't want to take away that, obviously. I just think they could be better. It's like, I don't know, the same with a movie I watched recently called The Zone of Interest, right? Where that is an incredibly worthy story to be told. However, I think it told it poorly, right? So I'm not saying like, oh, this shouldn't have been made or anything. I'm just saying I wish it was better for all of us, for all of our sakes. I wish it was a better movie. Like, basically, there have always been shit broad comedies for, like, horny teens, right? Look at Superbad, and there have been movies going back decades like that. And I think it is good, objectively good, that they are now being made for girl teens as well as boy teens, because that was really the only demographic that mattered to Hollywood for a long, long, long time, and to a certain extent still, right? But it is slowly changing, and I think that's objectively really good. I think it's a good thing. However, I hate Superbad so fucking much. And so anything like that is going to piss me off. So basically, I think there should be a Superbad for girls. However, I will never watch it because I hate Superbad. There should be an In-Betweeners for girls. However, I hate Derry Girls anyway because I hate In-Betweeners. But if they're going to exist anyway, they should be more equal than they currently are. And that's starting to happen. It's almost like women like to see movies. It's almost like queer people like to see movies. And also, I think it's a misnomer to say, oh, it's a movie for girls as well. Because I think there has been a thing, and this is not the first time anyone's mentioned this, this is a very well-worn path on film history and film theory. But it has been long accepted that if a movie has men in it as the main cast, then that is for everybody. But if a movie has women in it as the main cast, then that is a movie for women. And that is such a fucked up thing. And it always has been. Such a fucked up nightmare of a... I need to reset these, by the way. Such a fucked up nightmare of a system. And like I said, it's always been there. Have I done this properly? Hang on. Wiring needs to go here and here. There we go. And then these are independent, I think. This isn't turning off the lights, is it? I think it might be. Hang on. Redo the wiring here as well. But like, yeah, if something is, starring women, all the roles are women, then it is usually seen as a woman movie. And that's wrong. A brave take from me, I know. Whereas women are supposed to enjoy things like, Die Hard or something. But as soon as something like, I don't know, I think this movie is shit again, unfortunately, which kind of removes my point a little bit. But as soon as something like Atomic Blonde comes out, it's like, that's for girls. That's the girls' John Wick. Because it's about a girl. Again, I think it's probably slightly shifting, but very slowly. Too slowly. But then the faster that does shift, the more backlash you get. It's like the wokeification of Hollywood. And I think if anybody unironically ever uses the word woke, they should probably be catapulted into the sun. Is that controversial? I'm including people I know in that. My dad unironically used the word woke recently when I was visiting him. Oh, God. I wanted to cringe to death. I was like, man, you have never sounded older. I've never considered my dad like an old person until that moment. I was like, Jesus, you are ancient, aren't you? Sorry if you... No, I'm not sorry if you use the word woke. Go to fucking fall down a well. But like... It was a weird moment. I was like, wow, we are very different people. Like, I will say the word woke as a joke, you know? I will, like, ironically use the word joke in, like, woke in a mocking way. And even that, some people consider iffy, to be honest, because of, you know, the origins of the word. Like a lot of slang, it is taken, I think, pretty directly from AAVE. If you don't know what AAVE is, it is African American Vernacular English, I believe. Although I'm not really the person you maybe should be asking about it, because I don't really know. I believe that is what it stands for. Basically, Black American slang. That's what AAV is. And a lot of slang of all generations, but the Zoomers currently, a lot of sort of stereotypical Zoomer slang is just repurposed AAV. Now, a lot of people say that's a bad thing. I don't necessarily think it is. I think what's bad, and what probably they are actually saying if I actually listened when they say that it's bad, I think what is bad is the sort of removal of context and meaning. Like, when these teens are using AV, like the word woke, they sort of twist the meaning into something new instead of using it as it properly is. And that's bad, obviously. Or they don't even know that it is originally, you know, black slang. So, you know, you should probably know the origins and the context. But just using it, I think I'm fine with, to be honest. Again, I could be wrong. This could age very poorly, but I think I'm fine with it. Like, yeet is another one. I use yeet unashamedly and constantly. That will age me very poorly. Like, not poorly in terms of, like, maybe optics, but that's another one. Like, I think in 10 years saying the word yeet is going to sound like a 90s guy saying radical. Because slang changes pretty quick, right? That's kind of one of the main things about slang, is that it is constantly changing. I'm going to put this painting out here somewhere, I think. Will I? I don't know. I don't know if I really want this anywhere. It's kind of ugly. Here. Fuck it. That'll do. I try not to use that much slang. Kind of for that. Because there's always a thing in the back of my head, like, how fucking out of touch do I sound? So I rarely actually use very much slang. Like, I don't use a lot of Irish slang, and that's partially because of what I just said, and partially because of, like, a weird latent shame about Irishness. I've talked about this on the stream before, but I may as well mention it here. When I was a kid, I watched a lot of British television because Irish television is pathetic. Like, really, really bad and cheap and nepotistic and genuinely not worth watching. Don't bother. Don't ever, like, for curiosity's sake, bother trying to watch RTE. That is not good. So, I watched a lot of British TV. I watched a lot of BBC. I watched a lot of Channel 4. I would turn on ITV if I was desperate for something to watch, but otherwise, no. And in that, especially in the 2000s and the 90s and stuff like that, stuff that I would be watching, you know, reruns of sitcoms and stuff like that, whenever there was an Irish person on screen, they would kind of be a joke. Like, the joke was that they were Irish. The joke was that they sounded silly, or, you know, they were dumb in some way. I think the Scottish get treated the same way by the English, right? Because when I say British shows, really we all know I mean English, right? Like, when it comes to the BBC or Channel 4, no, there's no Scottish shows on that. It's all fucking... It's all English. It's all from London. So I think the Scottish and the Welsh and stuff all get treated the same kind of way. Any sort of more Celtic kind of nation, they're kind of the butt of the joke. And so, as a result of that, I tamped down my accent and kind of, I don't know if it was conscious, but I never really picked up any slang from around where I live, or maybe some of the speaking patterns, even if it's not slang of where I live. Like, I don't say like every other word like everybody else from Cork does, although now I'm hyper aware of the word like. So let's see if that holds true still, because my accent has been getting stronger as I've gotten older, which I'm fine with. I don't think that's a bad thing at all. Gotta get rid of this candle. I don't think we need this white paint either now. I think we're all done here. Let's put this back. This is a horrible little room, isn't it? What a horrible little room this is. What is this? I guess this could be like an office. I could make this into like a small office. I think that might be okay. If we put this here. Maybe center this up a bit more. Have this like right there. I could put an off. Oh my god, I didn't paint this. We can put an office chair in there and a computer on. But yeah, I never really developed a lot of slang. Also, and this is I don't know, slightly grim. I didn't really have any friends, so it was less likely that I was going to develop slang because or catch on to slang words, because I didn't talk to anybody because nobody was my friend. So really a lot of my speaking patterns come from television. I knew a guy who was like that, actually. Very, very briefly, I knew a guy who was Irish, had lived in Ireland forever, but had like an American accent, like a pseudo kind of American accent. And I remember thinking it was so strange. And I think I learned later on that it was because he had like learned to speak. He had like speech therapy problems, I think. Something along those lines, and he had learned to speak through like American tapes, like educational tapes or whatever. And I was like, that's bizarre. Like, there's nothing wrong with it, but like, that's so weird. Again, when I say weird, I mean in a completely benign and interesting way. I guess that's a better word to use. That's interesting rather than weird. Because I rarely use weird in that way, where it's like, ew. I kind of use weird almost as a compliment, but I recognize not a lot of people do that. Oh, this lamp is hideous. Everything in this house is so fucking weird and awful. Look at this roof. Who would live here? Who would design a house like this? Just make the roof slightly flatter so you can actually stand up. I say that, this is a little bit like my bedroom. My bedroom is much bigger than this. It's the biggest room in my house. But it does have dramatically sloping ceilings because it is built into the roof of the house. So it's a bit like this. If you are over, I'm going to say 5'11", you can't stand up in my bedroom. My dad is quite tall. And when I moved in, we were kind of lightly renovating the house. Like I'm doing right now. Not even a little bit like this. No, I sold the thing accidentally. But he could not stand up in the house. Oh, these are quite rusted, by the way. Can I fix that? I didn't realize these were so rusty. Can I like, yes, I can. I can make these a bit nicer. Make them like steel. Or even brass. Silver? That's a bit too pretentious. Make them like a brass like that, sure. Bronze, brass, whatever this is. Then copy style. There we go, that's a bit nicer. I didn't realize these were so fucked until just seeing them there. Maybe I should buy one of these things. I think they're called squeegees, but I hate that word, and so I almost don't even want to say it. That must be a brand name that became genericized or something. Squeegees. As seen on TV, the squeegee. I very rarely clean my windows because I just sort of forget they exist. Even though they're huge. I think my house used to be a shop, but they're huge. But whenever I do clean my windows, it's kind of just with a cloth. Like, I usually just get a tea towel and just kind of go, yeah, that'll do. I don't know if that's what you should be doing. I think I'll probably just use the same tiles I used downstairs. I don't think there's any reason to get massively fancy here. Just, again, the person who's going to live here is going to have to be blind. Or don't mind living in a fucking tip. So, it doesn't really matter what the floor and walls look like, really. I still don't know what's in the basement. Have we checked the basement yet? I'm kind of scared to see, because I think we have everything we need to live now. Oh, we don't have a living room, actually, saying that. We don't have a living room or anywhere to, like, watch television or something. Oh, speaking of televisions, my dad and my mum have moved to Spain. I could have just said parents to make it easier. My parents have moved to Spain, and their house is being put up for sale. Right, their old house here in Ireland. And so they have been trying to kind of get rid of shit from it by using me. Like, hey, do you want X, Y, Z? Please take it so we don't have to drive to the dump to get rid of it every time we come back over. And I've mainly been refusing because there's a lot of stuff I don't want in that house. Like random pieces of furniture or lamps. My house is tiny. But they did offer me a television. They have 2 identical televisions in their house, both 55-inch smart TVs, like 4K ones. My TV, this shows the difference in our wealth, by the way. My TV is about 12 years old and is 1080p and about 40 inches. It is not big or impressive or anything. It is a bog standard 10 or 12-year-old television. Big stitch, maybe even older. Oh. So I've been thinking about taking them up on that one and getting a new TV. However, I genuinely don't know if my house can fit a TV of that size. It is that small. Like, I basically live in a hobbit hole. Like, I don't know if my house can withstand that level of television. It will dominate one wall of the living room if I do. Again, I can touch every ceiling in my house and I'm small. Let's get some bathroom fixtures in. Do I want a... I don't think a bath... I don't think a shower will fit in here. So they're going to have to deal with a fucking bath. Which is worse than no bath, I think. I'd rather not have anything than a bath. Like, this is a horrible bathroom. Because I genuinely don't think they'll be able to fit a shower in here. Oh, that's horrible. Okay, right. I'll give them a bath, I guess. What's the nicest bath I can give them? This one, probably. Oh, that is so horrible. I'm so sorry. Look, at least you can have, like, a shower fitting, but you're gonna have to... Oh, you better be small. Right? Because how this is gonna work is you're gonna get in this bath, and you're gonna have to lean... double over the bath to shower yourself because this is in the way. Maybe I could put it here against the side. Nope, that is too big. Oh god. Okay, well, deal with it. Have the worst thing in the world. Okay, cool. Let's put in a bathroom. I guess I'll just give them the same toilet as downstairs. That's probably fine, right? Maybe here. Like that. That's probably okay. And then somewhere to wash their hands. Maybe a cabinet. That's kind of nice. Oh, what a horrible bathroom. I'm so sorry for what I'm doing to you. This is genuinely harrowing. Why does every bathroom I make end up like this? Why are they all so bad? I'm not trying. They're just happening like this. I think for this room, we should get some wallpaper, because it's already wallpapered, and I may as well keep with the theme. That looks hard on the eyes, is I think in the polite way of saying it. That is maybe not the nicest colour combo in the world. I think it'll do fine for now. Let's get a bed in here so that the person can sleep instead of looking at the walls. Oh, you know what? All things considered, considering only one person is going to be living here, I think this is fine. I think it's not the worst bedroom there's ever been. There's not a lot of storage in it, but that's okay. Same with this office slash closet. I mean, you better not have that many clothes, but this walk-in office closet thing, it's fine. I would be perfectly content here. It's small, but what else do you need? You've got a place to piss, a kind of a place to wash, a place to sleep, a place to game. Am I right, gamers? You've got a place to sit and stare at the wooden panels. I should probably put a shelf here, yeah? Forgot how shit this looked. Yeah, that's a little bit nicer. I can put maybe some vases on top of that at the end. There we go. Everything's kind of coming together. We need to decorate a little bit more, obviously. I'll do that in a little montage at the end. But everything's kind of coming together, mostly. Now we just need to do the basement, I believe. I think that's it. Now that that's all been cleared up a bit, it looks a little bit less like the basement from Barbarian. I think what we should probably do is separate this into a couple of different rooms. Like, knock through these walls, but have like a laundry room, maybe a utility room like power and like the water tank and the fuse box in here, and then this can be maybe another bedroom. I think that would be quite nice. So I think that's what we will do. I'm gonna maybe seal off this wall a bit because it's a bit of a nightmare. There we go. Already kind of coming together. Now, we need to slam down everything in here. Everything in here must go. Slam down these walls. I've never used a sledgehammer. I imagine it would be very fun for about 5 minutes. Like, using a sledgehammer, I think every child wants to use one. But I think it would require a lot of strength, which I don't have. I've never worked a physical job in my life. Look at me. You can't look at me, there's no camera, but you get the gist. I am very unfit in general. Oh, I don't like this. I don't like what this has happened. Okay, never... Okay. Hang on, move this one further in. Like here. You can stand alone for... Fuck it, sell it. Sell the door. It'll make it easier. Knock this back as well. Want this to be flush. Like a nice square room. Honestly, this can be the master bedroom because it's bigger and more conveniently shaped than the previous one. Having an actual floor instead of whatever bare concrete they've put down will probably make this look a lot nicer than it was. I don't know what the fuck was going on down here. Why was there a sink, bags of cement? I'm assuming maybe this was actually the start of a Barbarian basement. If you haven't seen Barbarian, number one, I'd recommend it. It's a very good movie. Number two, mild spoilers, it's about somebody building a horrible murder basement and lots of tunnels. I think there's somebody on TikTok doing similar. Now, not, you know, horrible murder tunnels, but... you know what? I'm going to do red bricks all the way down. They are making tunnels under their house. I haven't been following this saga, but I've heard people reference it. That there is somebody on TikTok or YouTube or wherever the youth congregate nowadays in their topsy-turvy world. There is somebody who is making sort of a network of tunnels under their house. I don't know if they've got planning permission for this, and I don't think they are qualified to do this in any particular way. Like, I think the last thing I heard about it was that they were an engineer or something, or said they were an engineer, so it's fine. But then it turns out they're like a civil engineer who, like, you know, plans road systems and stuff like that. And I was like, oh no, somebody's gonna die. Someone's gonna get crushed by faulty wiring or pipes. This isn't gonna be a good ending, is it? But maybe it'll be fine, who knows? Maybe I'll leave the ceiling. Nah, I'll probably paint the ceiling. The ceilings are all kind of the same paint, so I'll use that on it. I just don't like painting the ceilings in this game because the camera does that. It's so irritating. I don't really get motion sick in games. I feel very sorry for people who do, but that gets there a little bit. That gives me an inkling of what it's like. The only time I've ever been motion sick in a video game is when I watched a YouTube video of one recently. I can't even remember what it was called. It was some sort of kind of slightly generic looking roguelike. Or not a roguelike, maybe a kind of a survivor-like, I think they're called now. you know, a la Vampire Survivors, but with some, like, shoot-'em-up aspects. And it was set in a... like, you were, like, a speck of paint fighting other, like, specks of paint, and it would, like, fill in a canvas as you fought things. And the way they had it set up was, like, you were piloting yourself around this canvas while the whole camera wobbled. And within 2 minutes, I was like, I don't think I can watch this video. This is real fucking difficult for me. This is really bad. It's the only time that has ever happened. The only other time I've ever had even a hint of sickness while playing a video game was in Half-Life, and to a lesser extent Half-Life 2, when you go up or down ladders. I don't know what they did with that animation, but you are way too close to the screen, and the rungs are like going way too quickly up your vision. It's really unpleasant and makes me feel quite ill. Other than that, I'm solid. I don't really experience motion sickness. Although I have noticed I've been taking the bus a little bit more recently. I've just happened to have been travelling slightly more. And I haven't really travelled a lot in the past little while. And I think I am becoming uninoculated to travel. Like, I'm starting to feel a little bit more sick in cars and buses than I used to. And I don't know if that's age or if it's just that, you know, it's annoying. And like, the people I've been driving with are maybe, like, not incredible at it. I'm not really sure. Either way, I think I like travel less than I used to. But that's probably like a bit of an Ouroboros, right? Like, catch-22, probably a better phrase to use there. You know, maybe the less you travel, the more susceptible you are to travel sickness. And so it just kind of gets worse and worse and worse and worse if you don't travel very often. I'm thinking about travelling to Wales soon. Nothing's confirmed yet, but I have some online interfriends. That's what I've decided to call them. The information highway friends, who live in the UK and various other places around the world, and will sometimes pick kind of a central location to meet up as like a fun little thing. And they've been hinting at wanting to go to Wales, of all places. I have nothing against Wales, that's a joke. Wales looks very beautiful. I'm not sure what you're meant to do in Wales. Like, is there any... I don't know of any tourist destinations in Wales. I think they might have a mountain. But, I mean, I come from Ireland. Is there any tourist destinations in Ireland that aren't shit? Like, you know, the Blarney Stone or something? Like, is there any good ones? I doubt it. I know, if you're into, like, crumbling old castles, then maybe you're into Ireland. But anywhere else I've been to in Britain, I've been to London when I was a kid, I've been to Birmingham, I've been to Nottingham. I don't know what to do in any of those places. Really, I'm just happy I'm not planning them, because I would have no idea. I might nap after this video is finished. I'm so sleepy. I'm such a sleepy boy. Yeah, I might be heading to Wales. I've got some, like, Welsh friends and acquaintances that might want to meet up. If you're watching this video right now, maybe I'll meet up with you. What was I looking for? I was looking for some paint. Or maybe some wallpaper. Fuck it. We'll go full-on wallpaper for the bedrooms. I like this wallpaper. I like, maybe gold and... I always do gold. Just do purple and white. That might be quite pretty. And then make it a bit bigger. Yeah, that's kind of nice. That's kind of groovy. Groovy. I'm bringing back groovy. I've decided. I don't know if anybody ever unironically said groovy. I mainly know it from Evil Dead, to be honest. So I associate the word groovy with the revving of a chainsaw. Okay, this is kind of the most hideous room I've ever built. I think this is really awful. Oh god, I'm reconsidering everything. Everything about this is bad. The wall paneling is bad with the floor, with the wallpaper. It's all bad. Everything's bad. Oh no. Last episode, I said, wow, I love this house and how it looks so much. I'm going to keep it. I even did some stuff off camera to make it prettier. And I did it in like a laundry room and stuff. That's not the case with this one. This is rancid. Oh, Christ. Okay, let's put in a bed and stuff. You know what? I'm gonna lean into the cursedness. I'm gonna say this gets 2 sets of bunk beds. This is basically like a dorm or a prison. The people who live here do not want to live here. The people who live here are here against their will. You know, I'm completing the murder basement. The people who live here wish they didn't have to live here. I'm going to give them some cabinets just in case, though, because we do want people to buy this. Let's give them some nice dressers. Like, this is a nice dresser. There we go. That's pretty good. We'll give them maybe, I don't know, what else do people need to live? Maybe some shelves? There we go. Bedroom finished. These 4 people can live in this windowless borderline prison for a while. I'm sure that'll be lovely for them and they won't mind at all. There's lamps. What more do they need? They've got lamps. They have, oh, this is the wrong way around. Whatever. They don't get it. No, whatever. They get a ladder. Fine. Or maybe I can change the way the ladder's around. Hang on. Side right, there we go, perfect. Now it's perfect. What could they possibly complain about? Just remember to install a lock on the door so they can never get out. Okay, I think this is finished now. This little horrible basement area. We've got a place to do some laundry. We've got a place to boil our water and check our fuses and maybe store some little tools or implements. And then in here, we've got the horrible, horrible concentration bedroom. That's a new term I've just coined. The concentration bedroom. Although, I've just thought of something. I don't know if these people have any way to piss. Much better. Once every few days we can come down and empty this. I'm not even going to give them a lid. Right, I think the last thing we need to do then is decorate. So let's decorate. And I think that's it. I think we've made a lovely little cottage. Yippee! I think that's probably fine, right? We'll do a little tour and then finish this off. We come down this lined, bushy hallway. That's not what you call these when they're in the wild. What's a hallway but in the wild? A path? You come down this path. You see some benches and a lovely warm light. And you think, oh, what is this friendly abode that I've stumbled across? Perhaps an inn. Perhaps a place for weary travellers to rest, because you're medieval. Then you walk down along this path, you go, ooh, a spooky water tower. That's off-putting. But look at all the trees. Lovely little trees jutting out of the ground. Then you see, ooh, some pink roses. They might be red. It might just be the lighting. Some lovely pink roses. This person cares about niceness. Then you walk in. Here's the hallway. It's lovely. Look at this nice little hallway. Nice tan colours, neutral colour scheme to, you know, not scare off any potential buyers. Got a little mirror so you're confronted with your own horrible form as soon as you walk in through the door. You've got another mirror here. You've got a place to hang up jackets or coats, maybe even a scarf if you're a fancy lad. Place to put your little shoeses. Then in here, the ugliest kitchen there's ever been. It all kind of falls apart. You've got a horrible little carpet. You've got horrible cabinets. You've got a horrible tile and paint. Nothing really goes together. It's horrible. Anybody who comes in here instantly regrets buying this house. But you've got a lovely place to piss. Just sit, close the door. If you close the door in here, you can almost forget that the rest of the house looks like that. So you come out here, you have a ratty old painting that the previous owner never got rid of. You go upstairs, there's a little lantern, so you can read by lantern light. There's a little version of Pride and Prejudice on there. I've never read it. I imagine it's very slow. I don't know if I would like it, to be honest, but who knows? You can read it and open the window to let out the stench of failure. You go in here, here's the bedroom. You can get all cozy in here. You can light some candles. You can look at your little jade plant. You can put on another lantern because the people here are into lanterns. Go in here, get your work done. Oh, office, typing in Excel. Then you come out here. Oh, nice and calming. It looks like I'm on a fucking kaleidoscope sea voyage. And then in here, back to pissing. Your safe refuge. Pissing will always be fine. No matter how badly off you are, you can always enjoy a good piss. Also, the bath is useless. Then, finally, we come all the way back down into the basement. And we go, ooh, this looks like an unfinished spooky wall. And you'd be right. Then you go all the way down here. Oh, a place to boil my water and check my fuses. Is everything running? They are. Ooh, let's turn everything off and on like a child. Yippee. Fun to last hours. There's a little cabinet for any little tools or implements you might need. Then in here, you've got a place to store your filthy rags and wash them so they're just rags. You've got some bleach, you've got some detergent, you've got a lot of bleach because you might need it. And then in here, we've got the master bedroom, where many people can sleep in a windowless cell. And, you know, relieve themselves, have some light if they're feeling, you know, opulent, look at their vases, store their rags in these drawers. It's honestly, what more could you possibly need? And that's really it. That's the house. It's nice. Oh, I also put a swing set outside because if I ever get a house with a lot of land, I will obviously be getting a swing set because why wouldn't you? And a little barbecue because this person might at one point have a friend. I doubt it, but maybe they'll trick somebody into becoming a friend. And before they can escape, bang, they're down in the basement. Right, let's put this up for sale and see what we can get for it. Sorry, everybody. Auction house. We have spent a grand total of $311,000 on this. I'm assuming it's dollars. I think this game is meant to be set in a vaguely Americana kind of place. 312 grand. That's That's a sizable amount of money. That's more money than I've ever imagined. But, you know, maybe we'll make our money back. And you know what? Jokes aside, I think it would be fine to live in. I would have to redecorate. 171 grand extra! That is so much more than I was expecting. I was expecting to make about 60 grand generously. I was primed to be like, oh no, when I saw like a 20 up there. 171 grand. Brian Parker, you're a fucking serial killer, but I hope you enjoy your house. Absolutely. How much money do I have now? How fabulously wealthy am I in my life? 2.5 million. $2.5 million dues. That's too much money for any one person. Okay, well, thank you everybody for watching. I hope this was not too much of a nuisance. I will probably do more of these at some point soon. I haven't played this in a little while. I've played in a few days. It's the curse of YouTube and streaming, which is when you have a good game that you like playing and find relaxing, but you have decided to make videos of. It really hard limits how much you can play it, so it kind of, I wouldn't say ruins it for you, but it makes it different. Like, I know that I want to record some of these. You know, maybe not every house, but I want to record some of these houses and just do like a stream of consciousness thing like I'm doing. But that means that I don't feel like playing it just like in bits and pieces throughout the day. I'm like, okay, I should sit down and just do a house. So, you know, appreciate me. Bye. Thank you for watching. Bye. See you again.